Let's bring in ABC's Mona Kozar-Abdi at Trump Tower, senior investigative reporter Aaron Katersky outside the courthouse in Manhattan, and ABC's Jay O'Brien in Palm Beach near the former president's Mar-a-Lago estate with more. Mona, what's the latest there?
Well, Diane, we are starting to finally see more action within the last hour. A small group of anti-Trump protesters have showed up. They set up and assembled about a block from Trump Tower, holding signs that read "Justice" and "Trump Lies." Now, as for pro-Trump supporters, we only saw one truck drive by with Trump flags. It had Pennsylvania plates, but it is not the scene that the former president anticipated as he called for protests and for supporters to take your country back. He is still upstairs in Trump Tower. There are plenty of cameras along Fifth Avenue, and police have barricaded this off. There is a heavy police presence here. And so as the president makes his way back from the courthouse, maybe later this afternoon, we might see a little bit more activity. But right now, it is definitely not the scene that the president.
All right, so that's the scene at Trump Tower. Let's check in with Aaron outside the courthouse. Aaron, how are things looking there?
There's a guy on roller skates with a Trump flag and a few other protesters that have meandered by. Sometimes they're noisy, sometimes they're not, and they're just kind of hanging around, but there's nothing large scale like the police are certainly prepared for, Diane. They're here en masse. The courthouse is surrounded by metal barricades, and once former President Trump arrives, these streets are going to be blocked, and much of the courthouse is going to be empty, especially on the upper floors. Many of the Supreme Court cases have been adjourned for the day to reduce foot traffic in the building. He's going to arrive, we think, in the early part of the afternoon, surrender himself so he can be placed under arrest, processed as a criminal defendant, and arraigned on more than 24 felony counts. His attorney says he will plead not guilty.
Jay, Trump is set to return to Florida after the arraignment. Then what?
On his Trump-branded plane, flies from New York. He's expected back here to Florida, where he's going to go right here to Mar-a-Lago. He has remarks planned tonight to a room that's going to include a lot of media, but also supporters. What he says in those remarks is key from a political perspective here, because we know, and I can tell you that the Trump team, some of them view this indictment as a political boon to the former president and his chances of being the GOP nominee in 2024. So how does he frame this indictment in the larger 2024 conversation? And what does he say? How public does he get? What does he tell the American people and those supporters in the room, having just walked out of that room with the judge and certainly potentially getting advice from his lawyers not to talk about this case? So watching what Trump says tonight is key for what's going to come in the next few days, weeks, and months in this case, Diane.
Yeah, and we heard Joe Tacopina, his attorney, say that he will speak after this all goes down. Jay O'Brien, Aaron Katersky, Mona Kozar-Abdi, thank you all.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.